Okay, on to the conclusion. Uh, so in your conclusion section, you've got a summary of what's going on. There's a correlation. Again, you come back to, as well you should, the relationship between the x and y components and how those sort of play conflicting or alternating roles here. Uh, the going on to explore other sorts of surfaces would be a really good idea. That experiment is actually being done, and you might find it interesting that the angle force graph sort of looks a lot like this for high coefficients of friction, and more like this for lower coefficients of friction. In other words, it comes up a whole lot. And for your low coefficients of friction, what you guys probably around 0.25 or so, it comes up somewhat, but not too much before heading up a lot. So that is an interesting experiment to follow up on. Here is some of your data book. Angle, average force. These are your different trials, I guess. Again, I don't think it makes much sense to have different amounts of significant figures there. This looks like some data, summary data from your coefficient of friction experiment. What we really want to see is sort of a little write-up on the side experiment. Hopefully you did more than some trials. Some statement about the uncertainty associated with all of these. But anyway, this is hopefully the next page will follow up with that. Let's see what's there. Okay, so this looks like, this looks like the uncertainties in derivation of our equation, free body diagram, and coefficients of friction. All right. This is really just a repeat of what we saw earlier in the paper, all this stuff here. Okay, so that probably doesn't need to be here at all. And then these are some calculations. I think this data table that we saw previously, where is that here? That data table and this material here, this stuff here, are best on the same page. It's all about that side experiment. And then to some kind of diagram that shows your results there, how you came up with that, and then probably also very appropriate on that same appendix page would be some showing of how the uncertainties work out for this, because the uncertainty in the coefficient of friction is the largest of the uncertainties in your project, I would think. All right, let's see what comes next. All right, here are some graphs of those, and you did a nice job of referencing this. One nice reason to pull this into the paper itself is to make a more direct connection to these peaks. But again, you did do that and referred to the appendix to take a look at that. I guess those are more of that. This looks like a pretty nice sketch, so question mark, why is this not in the paper where it's supposed to be? Same issue last paper with the picture completely gone, but here, no, this needs to be way up in the paper by the procedure, by the derivation, so we can see what's going on as we're reading those words. Here's a propagation of the uncertainty. I thinking this is in your measured values, but again, that's not clear from that statement, but it looks like those are your measured forces, so the uncertainty in the measured forces, and that looks like that continues that. And then I don't know what these are. What are we propagating here?